Hey guys, good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming here today. My name's Alex Candy. This is Dan Chivino. We're in Cox's analytics program, and we're going to talk to you about two very exciting technologies coming together right now: big data analytics and virtual reality for our company, Lonesun Systems. Now, first, we've got a lot of smart business minds in the room, so we're going to have a little quiz. Someone tell me how this company's doing. Just shout out.
Best year, worst year?
That's how they're doing. Now, what you just experienced is a problem that companies face day in, day out. And you face the solution.
So the human brain is very good at understanding patterns, seeing things visually, but not so good when it has to interpret it and convert text and numbers to something useful. And the reason for that is over thousands of years of software development, your brain has become extremely good at recognizing patterns. In fact, 90% of your brain is dedicated, or your cortex, to interpreting what you see through your eyes. So the problem is, in business today, and especially more in the future, data sets are getting more and more complicated. So it's not always just a simple interaction of, if more of this, then hire that. As big data grows, the interactions between data sets becomes larger, so we need to add another dimension in order to interpret the data and allow your extremely capable processor to understand this data. Here it was Excel. Our system will be what Excel is to 2D and 3D.
So one of the problems is we're looking at 3D and 2D. Well, something can solve that, and that's virtual reality. So what we will build is an analytics video game software platform that helps companies derive insights using those virtual reality headsets that are coming on the market. Big companies make big decisions based on big data. As Dan said, that amount of data is only going to grow. An interesting study that was done a couple of years ago showed that using VR instead of a 2D plane or a piece of paper helps reduce errors by 43%. Now, what you're all asking is, okay, how are you going to do that on VR? Well, Dan's going to help us out with that.
So if I were to propose that we're going to build a hardware solution, the glasses, an analytics platform, and the go-between for it all, you'd think I'm crazy. And the good news is I'm not crazy, because that's not what I'm saying. The hardware is already available. Xbox, PlayStation, they're at consumer prices. You can go to Best Buy and pick one up. And we have a partnership with an analytics platform called Elpis Labs. They're a deep learning and artificial intelligence company. They have paying customers that are using their services to analyze their data right now. And they've expressed interest in investing in us to build out a 3D tool, or a tool to allow companies to virtualize their data and see it in 3 dimensions. So the important part about that is they allow us to have pilot customers who help us build and then iterate our product so they can quickly get to market. And they have 2 solutions. One's a web-based variant, and then for companies that have very, very large data sets that need to be done in-house, they have a server that they can install. So all we're proposing, as Alex said, is building a piece of software, a video game, if you will, that runs on the hardware, that allows them to understand their data and plugs into the analytics platform. So all this is nothing if we can't execute. So do we have the chops to pull this off? Well, on the tech side, I'm an engineer. I supervise nuclear power operations on submarines. I got an MBA from this school, and now I'm back for an MSBA. I've been in the startup community for about 2 years as a CTO of another startup. So I'm confident in my abilities. And Alex?
My background, I do have startup experience, but what I really want to harp on is my background within corporate development, which is where I wound up after college. I spent a year working on the chief of staff for the CEO of a large energy company, and he always wanted to see data in a certain way, and we couldn't deliver it to him. There wasn't a solution out there on the market, and it wasn't until VR was coming on mainstream that I really saw that this was a way to integrate all those problems into a solution. Now, advising us both sides of the coin, with analytics, we have Spencer Gilbert from Elpis Labs, our partner. And on the VR side, we have Mark Nasha from the SMU Guildhall, a leading gaming school up in Plano, who's had a very storied career in VR. But that doesn't matter without demand. So everyone's heard the headlines about all the tech giants investing in VR hardware. Facebook purchased Oculus Rift a couple of years ago for $2 billion, and now it seems like everyone's in a race. Well, it's for good reason. We have several headsets coming mainstream this year, and by 2020, it will be a common household product. Now, coinciding with that will be the software market. But this isn't the market we're going after. We're going after the big data analytics market, which is set to hit $17 billion alone, and that's only the software by 2020. Now, who are we going to target within that?
Well, I already spoke to it initially. We have pilot customers that Elpis already has. They're paying for them. So that allows us a great go-to-market strategy, and those will be our first customers. After that, it's any company that needs to analyze big data sets with complex interactions. So that could be hedge funds, energy companies, or in the middle there, the consultancies that would provide services for them. Finally, the elephant in the room, the US government, be that Department of Homeland Security or Department of Agriculture even. Some of those gigs require security clearances, and on our team we have a security clearance.
Now, what's your opportunity as an investor? We're asking for $600,000 to help us kickstart development efforts. Development, what does that mean? Well, mainly talent. We need to bring in the best, and for that reason, we will be offering them preferred stock and equity within the company. If we hit cash flow, this will help us also mitigate those risks and keep them on board. And also, there's no real announced competitors in this space. We hope there is, because this is a huge opportunity. We're looking at exit in year 4 to 5. As I've said, no one's publicly announced, and a lot of companies are going to be trying to play catch up. Right there, that's just a handful of the exit multiples for regular software companies over recent years. In summary, we're Lonesun Systems.
We build an analytics video game that allows companies to easily interact with and draw valuable insights from their data. Big data and virtual reality are two markets that are taking off right now with exponential growth. Big businesses make big, valuable, important decisions with big data. It's the one that they don't see that's going to get them. We're Lonesun Systems, and we make sure that that doesn't happen.
So I have just a burning question. Can you walk us through what this would look like in terms of if my CFO wants to visualize the data, what's he going to see? What's going to help him analyze that he doesn't have using a Tableau or one of the other visualization softwares?
Sure. So Tableau and similar software like that often take in only a certain amount of variables right now. Sometimes you need to look at it in a multidimensional space, and you need to be able to look around at it, not just at the screen in front of you. So, for example, right here, if you're looking at a network, for example, if your CFO wants to look at all of your corporate entities and the earnings around them, yeah, you can do a nice tabular format, but being able to jump around in a nice network visualization and actually look around and move around and interact with that data gives you a much better view of the big picture.
Can be done right now. You can do it in Excel. He could visualize his data in Excel per our second slide. Tableau is the iteration of that, right? So it makes it easier to draw insights. But as, again, the data becomes more complex, if it was like a network system and he's trying to see the interrelations between entities, then this just makes it easier to do. Did that answer the question?
Are there a lot of companies doing the 2D analysis right now? Is that what you said? And then you're turning it into 3D?
Data visualization, yeah.
What's the size of that market that's doing 2D? Or are you going to have to go into a giant corporation and teach them what the data means and have that fixed out?
Yeah, and there will be a training component, onboarding, of course. So we're looking at that and integrating plans for that once we launch. The current market right now for 2D, it's anywhere from 12 billion to 17 billion. The actual software market is 5 billion. It all depends on what company you're talking about and who you're asking. But
it's a valid point, though, because even though big data or data has been such an integral part of business for such a long time, just now some companies are getting into Tableau. So it is a valid point in that to move to the next level already, certainly we're going to have to be, and that's, I guess, the importance of the Elpis partnership, is that we need companies that have already proven they understand they need to visualize their data. Yes, exactly.
One of the questions I have is around the ongoing use of something like this. Because if you use it once and you understand what the dependent and independent variables are of what you're looking at, why would you use it again? Because now you understand what the primary drivers are in your business. The only answer I can conceive of is that you'd want to run simulations behind it, behind the data, to determine if there are any others. But even if you've gone down that path, the use case is 2 times. So why would I use this on an ongoing basis other than just initially discovering what's most important to my business and the metrics I need to be watching out for?
Hey, that's a great question. So that's really where the partnership with Elpis comes in. So they have this ongoing analytics platform that's extracting structured and unstructured data. And when we're talking about unstructured data, we're talking about news articles, posts and forums, press releases, and it's all coming together. So what you'll be able to see on a regular basis is changes going on with those analytics. It's not just a one-show pony. So further, when you're visualizing it as a system, you're going to need to prepare for changes in a market, for example, in one use case. And Elpis's platform will help simulate those changes on a day-to-day and weekly basis. Business is only going to keep moving faster.
And yeah, I guess the way I would answer that question is that while you can see insights of your current data, you continuously get new sources of data. So there is validity in your, if you were a upstream energy supplier and you want to see some particular part of your operations, your point's 100% valid. If you're a company that's considering moving into a new field altogether, you might need to have that data exploration, on an ongoing basis. So I guess it depends on, there will be some clients that probably use it and then that's all. I think there are some that are constantly evolving and realizing they have new competitors coming in. Like, I think the example that Alex gave me to really sell this was that if you're a company that's already doing a lot of transport and you have assets that are dedicated to it, you might see through a tool like this, hey, we can use our assets that we're using to transport our product for some other service entirely. And that insight you wouldn't get unless you had this solution sitting ready to go. Now, once you've got it, sure, you could throw it away, but let's just say that you don't continuously want to have those insights. And I guess that's, oh, sorry.
Sorry, we're out of time. Thank you.
Oh, thank you all.